So my design is a food and drink museum in Ocheria, St. Anne, right? I decided to go about designing this project by first brainstorming and determining a few things that I wanted to take into account when I'm designing this particular museum, right? So I am site 8, right? So site 8 is located along Main Street. I have a map of Main Street here. I am towards the north of Main Street. So this is on page 2, right? Um, I decided that I wanted to incorporate green um, building or green energy harvesting within my structure. That's the first thing that I wanted to ensure that I do. Secondly, I wanted to ensure that I had climate control. How do I manage the climate that will be within my museum, right? So from there, I decided to move forward with my design. So climate control and green energy was a major factor in my design, right? Here I'm showing some concept, some model study. So I decided to, basically create some forms in order to determine what my form will look like, additions, subtractions, and paying attention to the road in particular, and that atrium that is actually on the existing site, right? um, Moving forward, I looked at the site, so I analyzed the site. So this is Main Street right here, right? This is Main Street, and the intervention is along this side. So I am now on the corner of my site. So my site is on a corner lot, basically, right? Wind blows through across my site throughout the day from the north towards the south. My concept really is smoke, right? So I decided to look at smoke because first, when I came up with the idea that I wanted to design a food and drink museum centered around food infused or marijuana based food and drinks, right? So I decided to look at what is the key feature of marijuana, and that is the smoke. People associate marijuana with smoke, right? So I decided that the building itself will take the form of smoke. So I have the chillum pipe here. Um, I dissected the chillum pipe, and basically I took the kochi itself and the form, the base of it that has water in the bottom of it, right, and the hose aspect of it, to incorporate that along with the smoke itself from the chillum pipe, right? So this form here actually forms my my curtain wall system, and this form actually forms my roof, right? So that's how I looked at it, right? The site itself does have an existing park that I wanted to utilize and create a special space, and in addition to that, I wanted to create a courtyard, and the courtyard should pay homage to the chillum pipe by having key features of in the structure itself, right? On the ground floor of my structure, I enter off the corner, right? That's Main Street, and off the intervention, right? So I enter off the corner, right? I decided to enter at this position because I wanted to take advantage of the intervention so that I can enter into my site, right? So when you enter into my site, you enter into a lobby space, right? Lobby space, and which is a buffer zone, which then you are given instruction to go to the different location. On that same ground floor, I do have a gift shop, which is here, gift shop. I have a food prep area, food court where you eat or consume. I also have a library on the ground floor, right? And I have a cannabis pastry and wine tasting area, right? So these are pastries and wine that are created by infusing marijuana within it, right? And I have my bathroom area towards the back, close to my exit stairs, right? My emergency exit stairs. And my car park is actually to the back of the site. I decided to put it at this position because I wanted, once I exit at this position, I'm able to go down to the car park or continue to the site, to the next site, right? The courtyard area is a very special space within this building because it does pay homage to the chillum pipe, or the process of smoking, because I do have a pond within this space, and I just wanted this space to be a zen space. So you have a sitting area around the pond itself where you can interact, and even if you're eating around here, you can actually look over into the park space. Also, all of these spaces actually does look into this space. I decided to leave the food court open so that air can actually travel through across that space and into the court space, to basically vent the building. And also you can proceed to the park area from this position, or you can go back through the area where the emergency exit stairs is, to actually come back around to the park space. And that is to create a cross flow for the structure. These are some images of the internal of the courtyard space, just to show you the spatial quality of that space, because that is a special space to me. Here is another image looking over into the court space, just to see what was happening. So you see the water fountain here, and looking up into the atrium itself, right? On the upper floor, on the first floor, I have a lecture theater, a gallery, history gallery, as it relates to marijuana. I have a marijuana or cannabis research center. I have the main office, or the management office, right? The cannabis oil and spices office or shop, so you can purchase from there. And I also have the media room, which controls the lecture theater, or controls the different medias within the lecture theater. And the special space to me here is the lecture theater and also the atrium. So I always try to pay homage to this area here by looking back down into it. And also the lecture theater actually exits up on the upper floor or on the first floor, right? You can also look down into the lobby space, because I have bridged across, so you have the opportunity to look down into the lobby space from this level. And these are some images of the lecture theater and the quality of space within that area, right? I sectioned the lecture theater, the atrium space, right, the courtyard space, just to give you an idea of how wind is exchanged, or how cross ventilation happens within this space, and also to show you the quality of space within the lecture theater itself, and along with other spaces. So I've sectioned this lecture theater here, no, sorry, not the lecture theater, the atrium space. And you basically have a situation where wind is traveling across the court space and pushing up into the structure, and then exchanging hot air to really push air out through this sculptural piece within that space. And here's another image of that space, and you can see where you're looking down into this space from all angles once you're within that structure. We'll also show you where the stairs, which is a special feature within the structure, how the stairs actually move or create a journey through the structure itself, right? This is a section through the lecture theater, the food prep area, and the courtyard, and it also shows the roadway and the elevated plaza that we created, and also the parking space. So these spaces, well, I'm trying to show the relationship between each spaces, right? So on the third floor, we have the lecture theater. We exit out onto the court space, right, onto the courtyard, into the atrium space that looks down into the courtyard, right? And on this level, it's really about the gallery itself, right? So I have display areas on this level. I wanted to incorporate solar, so I have a solar farm room, or solar farm control room, and this basically harvests the sun and distributes it throughout the structure. So the entire roof itself is actually a solar farm, right? And this shows, the relationship of, the structure on each level. So I cut along this to look back into this park area. So this is what is happening. So this is the Cannabis Research Center. This is the display space above, and I actually have a smoking area at this position up here. This is the quality of space that you would have within that smoking area, right? And these are just some elevations that you can have a look at. This is the east elevation, south elevation. This is along the this is along the elevated plaza, and vehicles can actually drive underneath. So you can be up at plaza space looking down and observing the traffic or people during that space. This is around the courtyard, around the park space. So you can actually be on the smoking area and looking down on into the park space, right? So this is another elevation. I decided to show an image of what the structural framing system would be like, and to just carry that through. This is the curtain wall, how the curtain wall is mimicking smoke moving across, right? So on all elevations, you'll see where the form of the structure is actually mimicking smoke, and even for the plaza section, that is also mimicking how smoke would move throughout, right? And this is an image of the park space, and you can see where up here you're actually seeing down into the park, and you can see that spatial quality. Also, this down here, this would be where the library is, and the research center is directly above the library, and you can see where you can observe once you're doing your research, right? So I decided to show an exploded axonometric of the building to basically give an idea of what the structure is really like. And for the solar farm, this is the solar farm, I'm looking at dynamic structural framing for the roof, right? So to give that free form as so that it is possible. I looked at a structural thrust system to basically tie the building together and to actually accept the dynamic framing above to basically tie it together. Also the curtain wall, this is an image of the curtain wall system, and this is the connection of how you would connect this system to the wall itself, and it also is connected to beams, so structural beam, how you would connect the structural beam to the wall. So you bracket it to the column, and that would enable that to be possible, right? And this is an image looking back at the building from the platform, the elevated plaza between my side and Olo's side.